Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing really well and having a fantastic start to your week. For today's assembly, I thought we could focus on the aspect of persevering and how we should always keep going even when the going gets tough. Now, if you look up the word perseverance in the dictionary, you will see that the definition is the quality of continuing to try to achieve a particular aim despite some difficulties. Now, I'm sure you know that perseverance isn't easy, and it's certainly not easy all the time. It means that even when things get really, really tough for us, we don't give up. You may have heard of the well-known saying, which is when the going gets tough rather, the tough get going. And what that means is when things get difficult, when things get challenging, we shouldn't give up. The tough people, the resilient people around us, just get on with it. They find a way to make it work and they don't give up. They keep going and they get going. They make a plan, they stick to that plan. And if the plan sometimes doesn't go so well, they find another route, they find another way, and somehow manage to work out a path towards their goal or their dream. Now, all of us have had times in our lives when things have been difficult for us. We're then faced with a decision. Do we give up? Or do we persevere? Now, today's assembly is all about encouraging you to keep going. You may face difficulties in school this week, or this year, or next year. Some of you might find learning a bit tricky. Maybe your timetable's a bit tough to remember. Maybe some of you find reading a bit challenging. Some of you may even find sport a bit difficult. The point is, we all struggle with something in our lives, and we will always come across a difficulty that we need to persevere through or persevere with. Okay, and the message is don't give up. Don't ever give up. Keep going, persevere, try, and try again. Now I'm going to share with you very soon a short video clip about a young athlete called Derek Redmond. And he had trained his whole life for the race you're about to see. It's at the 1992 Olympic Games. And as you're aware, athletes who go to the Olympic Games have trained from a very young age. They've had to work extremely hard and be extremely determined. And they've had to persevere and keep going even when they're faced with tough challenges like injuries and illnesses and so on. Okay, so watch the video clip really carefully, and at the end we'll have a little chat about what you may have seen. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. Oops. We'll try again. There we go. Okay, let's enjoy. Okay, so as you can see in that video clip, it was absolutely heartbreaking when Derek Redmond broke down. He had a hamstring injury, he pulled his hamstring, and he wasn't able to race for the rest of that event. He didn't, however, give up. He was down a bit at the start, obviously feeling extremely disappointed, extremely distressed. He was in physical pain, but he was also in emotional and mental pain as well, because his dream of competing properly and possibly even winning or taking a place in that event was dashed. He wasn't able to achieve that goal any longer. But he didn't give up. He finished the race. He got up and he hobbled, which must have caused him great pain as well. He hobbled all the way around the track. And you might have noticed, or in fact you would have noticed, a man jump over the fence and come onto the track with him. And that, in fact, was Derek Redmond's dad. He moved out of the crowd to help his son in his moment of extreme distress and pain, and he gave him courage, he helped him persevere, and he helped him achieve his aim of getting across the finish line. Now, in our lives, we sometimes also need help to keep going. You never know when it may be you that's in need of help of others. So we need to encourage each other to keep going in order to achieve our aims. I found some quotes about perseverance, which I'm now going to share with you as well. I will read them and then I will pause for you to think about what each one means. So I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so keep going, keep persevering, even when the going gets tough. So have a think about this first quote. The greatest oak was once a little nut that held its ground. What could that mean? If you look at the picture, that is one huge, beautiful, great oak tree. But somewhere down the line, many, many years ago, that great, fantastic, strong, brave oak tree was in fact a tiny little nut. And it held its ground, which means it took that space and it made that space its own, and it grew and developed through perseverance and courage into that beautiful oak tree you can see in front of you. We can also be like that acorn and that oak tree. The next one is, when the world says, give up, hope whispers, try it one more time. Now, as you can see in the image, that little flower has grown in a very desolate crack. And I'm sure somewhere along the line somebody said, oh, nothing's going to grow here. But with a bit of hope and a bit of perseverance, that flower has found its way through the crack and has bloomed. So it never gave up. It tried and tried and tried. It persevered. And there it is, bringing joy to the world. This one's all about a postage stamp, and it was written by a man called Josh Billings. And he said, consider the postage stamp. So in other words, think about a postage stamp. Its usefulness consists in the ability to stick to one thing till it gets there. So if you imagine a letter or an envelope in front of you with a postage stamp affixed to it, that stamp doesn't come off, and it sticks on, it holds on and holds on until eventually that letter gets to the address it's meant to go to. So it perseveres, it's determined, and it sticks. It doesn't give up. It keeps going. It sticks and sticks and sticks until that letter reaches the right place. This last one was said by Albert Einstein, who I'm sure you know is a very famous scientist and mathematician. And he said, it's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer. So Albert Einstein struggled with many things in his life, and he struggled with his learning too. So he always said, I'm not smarter than anyone else. I just persevere. I stay with a problem longer. He encountered many mathematical problems and scientific equations that he couldn't solve straight away. And people expected him to be able to solve them straight away because he was considered to be a genius. but he had to, like all of us, practice, 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 make lots and lots of mistakes, learn from his mistakes, stay with a problem for a really long time. In fact, some of the problems he worked on, he stayed with them for years. And eventually, through perseverance and determination, he reached a solution. He reached a conclusion and gave the world some fantastic help and ideas and inventions. So keep those quotes in mind, keep those reflections in mind as you move throughout your week, as you move throughout the day, and you too can be like Albert Einstein and various other famous and well-known people who persevered to achieve their dreams and their goals. Right, let's close our eyes, bow our heads, or just think quietly, reflect quietly whilst we have our reflection. Sometimes it's hard to keep trying. It's hard when things are tough or when everything seems to be going wrong. Help us to never give up, but always to persevere. Help us to be people who encourage others to keep trying as we all aim for different goals in life. Thank you for those people who never give up on us. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you enjoyed the assembly, and don't forget, keep on persevering. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.